Hello friends, it's Stamp Ventures with Shauna, Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan, Canada. Welcome to my Tuesday tutorial. I'm live here on Tuesday, July 4th. Happy Independence Day to my American friends. And it's about 9:04 p.m. here in Saskatchewan, which is mountain time right now. So welcome, and if you happen to find me, thanks for hopping on. Say hello, let me know that you have found this video. I'm just trying to find it myself here. I'm reaching for my iPad, and okay, I think I've got another way I can do it. I'll go directly to my page and see. Oh, there we go. Yeah, it is working. That's always good to know. All right, and I feel like my camera might not be my camera. It might be my mat that I needed to adjust. Oh, yeah, it's close enough. All right. Hello. Did you see the garden French manicure? Yeah, there we go. We've been doing the garden manicures for a little bit now, haven't we? Since May here in Saskatchewan. And yeah, actually my fingers aren't too bad, but boy, well, this one is all inked up. I was playing with some, I think that was flamingo ink earlier. I really need to trim my nails and tidy them up. They're not dirty, but they're very ragged and jagged. So yeah, they could use a little TLC. Maybe not the garden kind of TLC though. All right. So, I'm going to be casing a card that I received not casing it. I'm going to be inspired. I'm going to be making a card that is inspired by a swap that I received. Isn't this super, super cute? This is a swap from my friend Marcy in Ontario. And I just loved how, well, it's a great layout. It's just awesome layout. It really shows off this lemonade stamp. And it's so springy, summery, and pretty. And I love the little strawberries. I didn't even realize that there were strawberries with the die set with the lemonade. And there's just so many things that she did regarding this card that I loved. And I thought, okay, maybe I could use this basic layout and try something similar. So I will share my inspiration with you in just a moment. But first, we've got a weather report here. Yes. So our weather has changed drastically today. It was not like what we've had for the last couple of weeks. I said today is refreshing, as in chilly refreshing. I should really add the word chilly because today, I felt like I needed to have something on my arms and my legs when I was outside today. I was not inspired to wear shorts or tank tops or anything like that. And so, yeah, because today's weather is chilly refreshing, the stamp set that is sponsoring the weather is the So Refreshing stamp set, which is the one that Marcy would have used for her card. And yeah, I said earlier, I didn't realize these teeny tiny little spit spots here in the dies are actually little strawberries. And then there's even the little the little green spots at the top of the strawberries, the stem part of it. There's lemons too, of course. And then I like how she made it like pink lemonade. And there's a couple cute other things that are in here too, like a picnic blanket, and maybe those are, ice cubes. Yeah, so it was refreshing today, sort of like an icy thing. So I'm going to use this as my template and make a card, and I'll share the dimensions with you so that if you want to be making something similar to this, you'll be able to as well. And like I said, there were just so many things that I loved about this card. I loved how Marcy did some ink blending in the back of this die cut label, And I like how she incorporated designer paper. I'm always looking for ways to use my designer paper. And she used an embossing folder as well, and some of the iridescent pearls. Now, I was going to take a quick look. I'm pretty sure that the embossing folder that she used is one from the online exclusives. And I will double check. I can tell if it's not in the pictures here, then it likely is. Yeah, I think there's a 3-pack of embossing folders that are in the online exclusives. Yeah, it's not in the catalog. And that's one of them that she used from the 3-pack. And then in case you're wondering, where did she find this paper with the lemons and the leaves? It's such a very refreshing paper. It's in a big pack of paper of 48 sheets, and that is, I need to go one more back. Here it is, the Delightfully Eclectic paper. I used some of this for when I had my class. I used the paper that had the pretzels, and there's all kinds of different summer motifs, and then just some more or less geometric kinds of designs. There's some daisies, there's swans, there's tulips, and they kind of go with a variety of stamp sets that can be found throughout the catalog. So I love how she used the paper with the lemons. And then finally, there's a new die that she used here, and I don't have that set either, but I have been looking at it longingly and anticipating that I will add it to my collection at some point. And I'll show you which set it is. It's the Nested Essentials, and it's the one here. They do have stitching along the edges, and I like how the rectangles have the stitching around the edge as well. I'm always happy to add dies that have a stitched edge to my collection. So because I don't have a lot of the things on this card, my take on the card is going to be slightly different. And this week I'm having an inked and tiled class, so this stamp set was just right close and handy. So I thought, okay, I'm going to use this on the card that I create tonight. So I'll pull in these items here. First of all, I've got a it's a thick basic white card base. It's just the standard size. And then I've got a piece of Pool Party cardstock. And this is cut at a little bit different size than I normally do for my, my second layer of the card, or I guess the first layer. This is the base, this is the first layer. Usually my first layer, I do it at 5 1/4 inches by 4. But because I'm casing Marcy today, Marcy left a very, very thin border around the edge. So she made her card 5 3/8 tall by, by 4 1/8. Yes, had to think about that for a minute. So just a tad under the 5.5 mark and a tad under the 4 1/4 mark. And now I've got another layer of white. This is basic white cardstock, just the regular, not the thick. And I'm going to layer that onto my Pool Party. I should mention that the embossing folder that I used for my layer here is called it's called the Naked Brick. The Naked Brick embossing folder. No, it's not naked. It's the Exposed Brick embossing folder. But if you can't think of a name for it, well, naked will do. It's one of I've been using this a lot lately, and I just like the texture of it because it's fairly small. It's not too, the pattern in it isn't too big, and you can use it for so many things. It's just a good general background, I think, and works for a lot of cards. So there we go. There's the Exposed Brick. And yeah, and this layer I'm going to glue on. Now I'm just going to take a quick check and see if a few people have found me there. And looks like a few have hopped on. Hello, thanks for stopping by. Give a wave if you're there. I'm going to go on to the next layer of the card here. So I might not have mentioned this white piece is 3 1/8 inch wide and then 5 3/8 inch tall. So the same height as the pool party. And so I'm going to make this the same height as well. So I'm going to grab my paper trimmer here, and maybe before I do that, I will cut it in half at 3 inches. I think that's the other thing that really excited me about this card is the 3-inch wide piece of designer paper makes it such a great measurement. If you're using the 6x6 DSP, you get automatically two panels to use on 2 different cards. And if you're using the 12x12, you get, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, you get 8 panels out of a 12x12 sheet. So I love it when the math works in favor of the card. And you can see the DSP that I'm using here is from this pack, which, whoa, I've been cutting like crazy because, like I said, I'm doing an inked and tiled class this week, and I really like this paper a lot. And it's the Inked Botanicals from the annual catalog. So I can put this one away for a second. You know, it's always good, you know, make 2 cards at a time, you know, killing 2 birds with 1 stone. And I'm going to measure it 5 3/8. So there's my 5.5 inches right there. And then I just go backwards 2 ticks, which would be 1/8 of an inch less, or 2/16 if you want to get really technical. And there's a little piece, I'll probably just recycle it because it's pretty small. Some of the bigger pieces I keep. And so that's my next layer for the card. Okay, so it's quite a busy and colorful layer. Marcy's was a little bit, it's just a little bit softer with her colors. So I'm hoping this will still work out okay, even though I've got a bit of a busier piece here. And now, as I mentioned, I don't have these Nested Essentials dies. So I looked through my collection and I found, I can never remember the names of all these, the Something Fancy dies. And this, it's the biggest of this one with the 4 corners that have the little dips in the corners. So I'm going to use this, and I'm going to take my cue from Marcy's card here, and I'm going to do a little bit of ink blending with the Pool Party ink and my blending brush. And she did it really softly. I think she probably used Balmy Blue. It's a little bit more on the cooler blue side, where this is, well, this is a cool blue too, but it's a little bit more of a greeny blue, this Pool Party. So I'm going to grab a scrap piece of paper, because when I do my blending, ooh, there's a pretty leaf that's from that stamp set that I'm using today from the Inked and Tiled. Yeah, there it is right there. I was doing some fun things with spritzing and using several colors and kind of getting some ink to blend that way. But tonight I'll try using my blending brush, and I'm going to daub off the excess ink so that I just get a really soft look. And it probably won't even look like anything on the paper to begin with, hardly. But that's what you do. You build it up so that you don't get blobs of color here and there. You just get a soft, gradual build-up. I'm pretty sure that's how Marcy would have done hers too. And maybe do one more. Don't want to overdo it, but just almost like the blue sky in the background. It made me think of a very beautiful blue sky day when you would definitely be having lemonade. There we go. Now mine doesn't have the stitched edge, but I'm going to go like that for now. Suppose if I wanted to highlight the edge, I could take and do a little bit of blue of the pool party along the edge too. And that, when you pull the bristles of the blending brush against the edge, that highlights it a bit, makes it pop too. But I don't know, I'll stick with this for now. There we go. Yeah. So there's that. And now I'm going to pull in the leaf. I love how this looked like pressed leaves, you know, ones that you've put in into a book or something like that. And I'm going to pull the other colors that are in this paper here. So there's some Calypso Coral, and there is Calypso Coral and Crushed Curry. And so I'm going to start with, I think the Crushed Curry is just a little bit lighter, so I'm going to start with this. And stamp on, or ink on, apply a base layer of the Crushed Curry ink. And then I guess I should get a piece of paper to stamp this image on too. Let's see, I think this piece will be about what I want to start with. I'm going to end up cutting it out. And then I'll pull in the Calypso Coral, which I think is a little bit more of an intense color. And I'm going to grab one of my sponge daubers. This is my sponge dauber that's dedicated to Calypso Coral, as you can see. And I'm going to ink it up really well. I'm going to make it so that the sponge dauber is really juicy, like almost as juicy as the ink pad. Then now that I've got this little mini ink pad, I'm going to go in and I'm going to daub it just a few times in a couple different spots on the image. So I'm adding a second color of ink. So it's going to add a little bit more of a create a multi-tone look to the leaf. And maybe while I'm here, I'll do a little huffing to reactivate the moisture. And we'll stamp and see what we get here. There we go. It's a multicolored, very fall looking leaf, isn't it? It's got those burnt oranges and gold tones. And I'm going to make this the focal point for my card. Now I'm almost thinking that I might want to change this background. I don't know. We'll see. I should probably close my ink pads so I don't have any accidents. It's important when you're closing these ink pads to pull them straight towards you. You don't want to start pulling and then lifting them halfway, because if you start to lift it up when it's only halfway, you're going to get cracking along the edge of your ink pad. So pull it straight towards you, and then once you get to the very end, then you can do the flip and you won't get cracking. All right, so I'm going to do a bit of fussy cutting. I'm not always a fan of fussy cutting, but this stamp set doesn't have dies that coordinate with it. So, and I'm thinking I'm not going to be like super fussy. I'm not going to go, I'll do maybe a little bit in here and a little bit out, but I'm not going to be too detailed with my fussy cutting. I'll just kind of get the general leaf shape going here. And that way I'll be able to pop this image up in front of the pool party ink blending that I did. So just curious, what was everyone up to today on this little bit cooler day? Did you have work? Did you do indoor things? I was doing indoor things today. I was cutting paper for this week's classes. We ran over to my mom and dad's house after supper and dropped off their new TV. They've finally entered the 21st century. They now have their very first flat screen TV. Yay! And yeah, it's a pretty quiet day here. How about you? What were you up to today? I know that a lot of the people who are in the States are celebrating today for the 4th of July. We did our Canada Day celebration, which is also my mom and dad's anniversary, back on Saturday. And that was a fun day, and it was quite warm. Actually almost a complete 180 from what the weather is like today here. Maybe we'll take a little bit more of this out. There we go. There. Okay, so these scraps the bigger scraps I can save for something else. So I'm going to pop this up here, and I'm just trying to decide if I want to stick with this paper. I might actually switch it out for a different pattern. I'm going to grab the inked botanicals here and see what other. It's a little bit, I think it's a little bit too busy for the flower. Ooh, that's cool too. Except I just realized that the design is going sideways. So let's see what else I've got in here. This definitely has the colors that I'm using. It's got a little bit bigger of a pattern. Ooh, wow. That's almost too much. And then there's the yellow. Ooh. That would pick up this crushed curry, and here would pick up the crushed curry in the leaf. That's kind of interesting. Let's see what else have we got in this pack here. There's a lot of Lost Lagoon and Pool Party colors. And, oh, there might be something towards the back here. There's the little wee flowers that I was using. Oh, there's some bigger flowers. These might... Gonna test it out. See what... Oh, that's not too bad. I think I might have to have a vote coming here. As sometimes I can't decide myself. And so, oh, here's another plaid. Plaid could be an option too. That might be kind of neat. So there's 3. I'll see if there's any. This is, oh, this has got a bit of that. Oh, there's little leaves. I think that's going to be kind of busy again, sort of like this one was busy. But I'm wondering, this one would bring out the Calypso coral part of it. Okay, so let's see. We'll do this in order. A, B, C, or D. Because I'm feeling like this just wasn't working for me like I wanted it to. It was just a little bit too small and too, too monotonous with the flowers. I wanted something a little bit more sketchy or diffused. I don't know. I'm not sure if I can think of the right word to describe what I'm looking for. But we'll say that this one with the crushed curry is A. The multi, so we'll test these, audition these here. There's with, and then there is going to be the Pool Party and a little bit of white there. So there's the crushed curry, which is A. And then there is the multicolored flowers, which is B, which I find just a little bit more sketchier and more diffused than the one with the little flowers. And then C is the plaid. There it is with the plaid. And finally, D, this has got some, it's like, kind of like the little dandelion seeds that are blown in the wind. There's D. So, if you're watching there, just put your comment in if you think it should be A. Okay, we better start it again so I'm not getting the letters mixed up. A, B, C, or D and I'll cut the paper to that because I just feel like this one's not working. So this is going to be like a choose your own adventure video today for card making. Let's see if anything is coming through. Oh, hello to Susan and Melanie. Melanie is choosing the plaid or the crushed curry. So the A or the C. Okay, yeah. And Susan, you're choosing A as well. So there's 2 votes for A. Something like that there. The crushed curry does really seem to pop when it's nearby the pool party. There's a little bit of contrast there. And yeah, it does bring out the highlights of the leaves too. Okay, well, you know what? I think A is it. We've got 2 votes for that, so we'll go with that. Thanks, ladies. Okay, so here we're going to cut this piece again, and it's 3 inches. That makes it easy, half the sheet, and then I've still got a piece for another card. And it's not quite 5.5 inches, just under the 1/8 of an inch under, so 5 3/8. Okay, and we'll start gluing. At some point it gets to a point where, okay, I just have to make a commitment. We'll go with this one. So, and the other thing I was thinking is that Marcy had lemons and strawberries here in the corner of her card, and in this inked and tiled stamp set, well, I guess there is like this little kind of floret, but there, and then there's this that kind of looks like, the dandelion seeds blowing in the wind. But I was thinking that maybe I could use the corner here to choose a greeting, so I might just go with that. So, but first I'll get all these other pieces glued down. And yeah, there's no top or bottom with the inked and tiled. It's just making sure it's not like the time-worn type where you could have a letter of the alphabet upside down. The bricks they can go either way. So there's just that nice, very fine little edge of white, which I think maybe was one of the things that attracted me to Marcy's card. It just was done so beautifully. And then we'll glue these layers together. So this is the 3-inch wide DSP it's being glued on top of the 3 1/8 inch wide piece of basic white. Try and make those about the same on either side, something like that. And I think there is definitely an up and down to this paper. I think this would be the petals at the top and the stem, so it should be going in that direction. And Marcy glued these layers flat, so I'm going to do that too. She didn't use any dimensionals on these particular parts of the card. Okay, and I'll just check my edges here. See that they're pretty close to being in place. Sometimes if I turn it upside down, I kind of get an idea whether maybe I'm going off to one side or not. Or I think I do anyways. Now, this next layer, Marcy did definitely pop it up with dimensionals. And it is I am sad that I don't have this stitched edge die, because I think that does the stitching really, wow, it finishes things off. But we'll go with this for now. And maybe it'll give you some ideas of something that you might have at home that has a stitched edge that you could use. So we'll place that in the center. It might be a little bit higher to the top, but that's okay. And then I was thinking that maybe I could pop this up too. Marcy has glued her pitcher of lemonade flat, but I think this would look really good. It gives that little bit of shadow box and bit of dimension to it. So I'm going to pop up my leaves here. Ooh, that's almost too big for that one leaf. It's, yeah, I'm wondering if maybe, okay, I'll do this little trick. I'm pretty sure that that's too narrow for even, yeah, it's pretty narrow for even the baby dimensionals, but the other thing I do if I want dimension, but it's something really small, I take a glue dot and I roll it up. It's not quite as thick as the dimensionals, but it'll be close enough. It's still going to give it a little bit of a lift. And, you know, leaves don't lie perfectly straight. They curl up and do different things that way. Okay, now, words. Like I said, I was thinking I was going to add a word here. Well, Marcy had her strawberries and lemons in the corner. And I've got just a note, congratulations, thank you, lots of love, hello friend. I think I'm going to do just a note. That way it can be used for a lot of different things. Because you send notes for, many different kinds of occasions. And now, I always have this stash of the little pieces of white that get trimmed off when I'm cutting a piece of cardstock down to 5 1/4 by 4 to make a layer for a card. And so I've got tons and tons of these scraps. And I think I'm just going to stamp my just a note on here. And I'll grab my Calypso Coral. I'm going to need some embellishments because Marcy's got these pearls here. Oh boy, it's hard to tell if I'm going straight or not. I might have to, oh good. I was going to say, I might have to stamp this a couple times to get it where I, to get it so it's not crooked, but that was pretty good. All right, so now, well, I could just go like across the bottom like that. I wasn't planning to do that. I was thinking of maybe having it, trimming it down and tucking it in here somehow. But that's just quick and easy. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So I'm going to grab my paper trimmer again. This was the white piece in there. That white layer was 3 1/8. 3 1/8. Just 1/8. 3 1/8. There. Something like that. There we go. Okay. And embellishments. Oh, I might have to have another, might have to have you help me decide on these too. Let's see if I can reach my basket here. I have baskets that keep my embellishments in baskets like this. And I just have clear stamp cases. I know that those are Calypso Coral, these iridescent ones here. I'll pull those out. These are iridescent too, but clear, and I don't know that they would show up all that well. Then we've got some brushed metallic adhesive back dots. They would definitely show up. And I've got some butterflies. I feel like butterflies are not necessarily the vibe I was going for, but, and then these are glossy dots are not quite the right color. And what's in my other basket here? Let's see. I have 2 baskets of embellishments for keeping the current one, the current ones that are in the catalog. So we've got classic matte dots. So these vanilla and white dots would definitely pop if they were put onto the crushed curry. There's lemon lolly and I think balmy blue, no, boho blue. Yeah, no, those colors I'm not working with. Here we've got pastel adhesive backed sequins. No, we're not pastel-y today. These ones are kind of cool because they're different. Did they call them neutrals? Yeah, they're neutrals in that they're like kind of copper, silver. I'll just hang on to those just in case. And yeah, okay, we'll stop there and I'll get your help with the embellishments. So put them a little bit closer to audition them. So these pastel iridescent, I think that's what they're called. Oh, no, iridescent first and then pastel. Iridescent pastel gems definitely have the calypso coral in them. So I could do, you know, one down here and a couple up here, and they would definitely pop. And then there's brushed metallic, rustic metallic. So these ones, yeah, they definitely have a rustic look to them, and they would definitely pop. They would definitely pop on the crushed curry. And then I've got some white matte dots, and the white would definitely show up on the crushed curry. And then I've got these neutrals adhesive backed sequins. The gold would not show up very well in the crushed curry, but this bronzy color would. The copper would too, but I'm not sure if that's really what I'd want there. And these are more of a whitish silver. So we've got pastel, we've got rustic, we've got white, or we've got sequins. Who's out there still that can help me pick out what we're going to put on for embellishments on this card? So the pastel, the rustic, the white matte dots, or the sequins, these bronzy sequins. And while I'm waiting for the however many 15 seconds or so it takes for your choice to come through. And if you want to do A, B, C, or D, you could do it that way too. I'll just keep them in that order. I'm going to glue my just a note down for now. There we go. It's not quite the same because it splits up the focal point a little bit, where with Marcy having all her little embellishments right there in the corner, it really keeps the eye focused on the center of the card. But I'll go with this for now. It fits quite nicely there. So I'm just checking to see if anything comes through. Susan thinks the sequins. She likes, yeah, I think these would definitely pop, these bronzy ones for sure. Okay, you know what? We'll go with that, Susan, for now. As, yeah. Put these others off to the side. I haven't even cracked into this, or have I? Yeah, no, I did. Look at that. Yeah, I do weird things. Like normally, you know, there's this resealable bag at the top, but I often just slice it down the edge and pull it like this. Ah, okay. So, yeah, I think we could put a little sequin here. And then the way Marcy did hers is she had two at the bottom and one at the top. But because I've got this just a note down here, I was thinking I could maybe do two up here and one down here. Or I could do it so that one of these is by just a note. Like that. And whoop, come back here. Is sliding off. There we go. There you go. Something like that. Yeah. Those definitely pop up, and they've got sort of the, you know, that the fall colors going on. That's what using the Calypso and the crushed curry tomorrow does give me a fall vibe with that. So, well, thanks for helping me with that. I have one more card that is almost done, just needs to be popped together, and it's exactly this same layout with the designer paper, but another take on it. So I'll grab those things. I was wanting to use this paper because I adore it so much and I love the flowers. So this is an online exclusive, Hello Irresistible. And so I grabbed that, and then I'm like, what could I put with the flowers? Well, I was thinking ladybugs would be crawling around in the flowers. So I grabbed the Hello Ladybug stamp set, and I stamped and punched some ladybug wings, and I punched the ladybug body. Yeah, just with this builder punch here. Ooh, that looks kind of dirty. So I did those all ahead of time. And then I realized that when I was thinking about how I was putting this card together, that when I have these beautiful flowers that are going to go right in the middle, that, oh, I don't want to cover it up with a label because I love, love, love the flowers. So I'll show you my idea for this one. I'll get these layers glued down. So this is Daffodil Delight, and I used the same embossing folder as the first card, which is the naked brick. No, the exposed brick. And same size of layers of cardstock here. So the Hello Irresistible is 3 inches wide and 5 3/8 inches tall, and the white is 3 1/8 wide and 5 3/8 tall, same height. And we'll glue those right into the middle there. Colors are kind of somewhat in the same realm as the first card here, aren't they? Kind of got the oranges and the yellows going again. No blue this time. So like I said, I didn't want to put the label in the middle because, oh, I just adore those soft flowers there. And the bright yellow was maybe a little bit much for me. I could have maybe put petal pink if I had wanted it a little bit more muted. But we'll go with this. I've got this cut for now. So I'm going to dress the ladybug, put her little wings on. I guess there's got to be guy ladybugs too. There needs to be both, I guess. But they're always called ladybugs, so it's always like I want to say that it's a girl. And this was Flirty Flamingo that I stamped the wings in, because they say that on the package of the designer paper that there's Flirty Flamingo here. So it's, again, there's a kind of a combination of colors in there, but that's what I came up with, the Flirty Flamingo, from looking at the package that the designer paper came in. And I'm going to pop this up just like this. So it'll be off to the edge, and the ladybug is going to be exploring into the flowers there. And then here I've stamped the "You Can Bug Me Anytime" just here as part of the Hello Ladybug stamp set. And I'm going to put that across the bottom there, just kind of like I did there. And so I need my trimmer again so I can make it the 3 1/8. There we go. And yeah, there's those 1/2 inch pieces of cardstock that I'm always trimming off to make my layers. I think I want to, make it so that the ladybug is just overlapping the words a little bit like that. And then embellishments. And I do have some black embellishments, but I feel I don't know if I really want more black on here. I mean, it definitely does pop, but that makes it quite harsh. Black. So there's with black. Yeah, it does really pop, doesn't it? And then the white would show up, but not as much because there's white spatters in there. The sequins, I don't think, well, those might go. There's a bit of a yellowy coppery color in there. And then there's the rustic metallic. And there's these ones, but they're more calypso as opposed to flamingo. So maybe I'll go with the black because it does really pop. I thought it might be too harsh, but then we've got the bright yellow too, and the bright yellow has got a bit of a pop going on as well. So I'll go 1, 2, and 3. Let's see. There. We'll go there. I'll go in that direction. So my triangle before was going this way, and then this way the triangle is going that direction. So yeah, there's my take. Who knew, getting a lemonade card in the mail would create such a diverse inspiration for new cards. So I challenge you, if you happen to see, it might be just a card in the catalog, or it might be one that you get from a friend or a swap. It could even be a store-bought card. I challenge you to do the same thing. Look at how the card's put together and use the idea to pull out your papers in your cardstock and your embellishments and stamps and come up with an idea, just starting with the inspiration. So yeah, 3 very different cards, but all inspired by this one piece of mail that I got from my friend Marcy. So thank you so much, Marcy, for the beautiful card and for the inspiration. Thanks to those who found me today and were able to hop on and watch the video. Thanks for helping me choose the embellishments and papers. And I hope you have a good rest of the week. Hopefully it'll warm up and summertime will come again. Just remember that there will be brand new online exclusives that start, June 6th. So if you stay up till like midnight July 5th. They start midnight July 5th, which is really July 6th. And that popular new little truck punch is coming. I'm pre-ordering, well, not pre-ordering, I'm ordering when the clock strikes midnight for a few people. And if you wanted to get in on that group order, just let me know. Thanks again. Hope your week goes great, and we'll talk to you another time. Bye for now.